Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets, coming at you live from Salt Lake Tahoe, not Salt Lake, Utah. So it's nice being out here. I'm on an event, LifeWave event. Lots of people that know me have known Michelangelo. Usually comes to these events and with me, and they were very, very nice, giving condolences. So. He's missed, but he would like for us to continue going on, and that's what we're doing. All right. So, is there a possibility of a massive earthquake event in the Cascadia, and could it possibly be set off? Because they're starting to get some serious earthquake activity in that Cascadia Subduction Zone. Over 7,200 so far. Actually, this was a day or so ago. Earthquakes just this month in that area, so it's picking up. And these are small earthquakes, but when you take them, you take the energy that's being released on that level, it's almost like it's getting ready to rip. So we need to be ready for that. And there's also, and we'll talk about also how in Antarctica, how they have an earthquake creating machine down there that's been revealed. So a gentleman was on the he did a lot of shows, but he was on the Paul Ryan show. I'll show you a little clip about that. All right. So I've talked about this. Now, what could the deep state be doing? What are they trying to do? Of course, we know they want to seize control of the world. They're being thwarted through Donald Trump, and we'll talk more about that as well. Just recently, he showed the South African president a video where they're brutalizing South African white farmers. So it's very, very bad. We'll talk about that. So Trump is trying to calm all of the fighting around the world. It's not just here in America; it's around the world. Now, here in America, if this subduction zone gets triggered, we could see the mini civil war that I've talked about, kick off, because I believe I and many other people have talked about how they have many people that are positioned for some type of an event. Something is going to kick this off. We're seeing a rise in COVID-19 cases in Singapore and China and a lot of areas over there. Are they going to try and do another bioweapon attack? So there's going to be an attempt again to disrupt humanity on a major scale. So we'll have to be very, 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 very cautious. No, I'm not talking about an overall widespread civil war. I'm talking about civil war within, like I've been saying for years. I said there wasn't going to be a civil war, guys, but there will be limited civil war activity within big cities, big blue cities. Absolutely. I don't see any way this is going to get stopped. Right. President Trump is doing the best that he can to get the top people out through, basically taking people that are here illegally and get them out, putting people behind bars. We just saw a big prison break in New Orleans area, another big blue state with a big blue city, guys. It's going to get ugly in those cities. So 10 people escaped from a prison. They were let out. Somebody got paid to let them out within the prison system, I believe. Why else would you just randomly let 10 people go, out of a prison? So 10 of these guys, only 5 of them have been caught. And they have had a widespread manhunt for these 10 guys. Everything, all systems are go for this one. So imagine this happening on a widespread basis, widespread in multiple cities throughout the U.S. You're going to need militia. You're going to need militia. And we need to talk about that. All right. And we're going to talk about that. All right. So let me share a little bit about this, some of the things that I'm seeing, so you guys can get an idea what I believe is coming. Right. It's not pretty. And we need to be aware. We need to be heads up about it. And we need to be planning for such an eventuality. All right. So Major General Paul Vallely, U.S. Army retired, We're working on having the Major General on our show, hopefully very soon. Hopefully between the two of us, we can, get some really good information to you guys about a lot of subjects. So as he writes in his article here, as a proud veteran of national and domestic security, it became apparent in 2020 with the election still and 2024 with the potential election still that citizens must be prepared to assist police and county sheriffs from internal threats, criminal actions, and illegal immigrants positioned to attack sensitive targets. Let me repeat that. So this is from a major general. I'm just a E7 senior enlisted guy, SEAL at one time. This is a major general, guys. He is saying what I've been saying, which many of us have been saying: illegal immigrants positioned to attack sensitive targets. Considering a possible and very likely civil war, limited, not wide scale, riots like the ones that were created with, back in 2020 with the George Floyd riots. Those got really out of hand, guys. And planned disasters, like we're going to talk about. Like I've been saying, I'm feeling the stuff coming, guys. I'm seeing this stuff coming. And I'm not the only one. There are many psychics. Many psychics are seeing this tsunami coming, and earthquakes and volcanic activity. It's already happening. We're not seeing 100-foot tsunamis yet, but we are seeing major earthquake activity and volcanic activity on a major scale. And we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. All right, we need to be prepared for the worst. And why not? If the worst doesn't happen, it's okay. We plan for it. It doesn't happen, great, right? But if it does happen and we haven't done enough planning, we haven't done enough preparation, it will be a lot worse. So we must secure our borders at all crossing points. That includes Canada, seaports, which are not being monitored, and airports, which also are not being. So when I say seaports, I'm talking about all the way up the rivers, the Mississippi River, guys. A lot of stuff comes up that from the Gulf of Mexico, and that's not being monitored like it should be. President Trump, the Department of Homeland Security, and Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, are executing an aggressive plan with rapid speed. However, we're talking about a Patriot Guard force. So the summer 2020 riots resulted in 15 times more injured police officers, 30 times as many arrests, and estimated damages in dollar terms up to 1,300 times more costly than the Capitol protests of January 6th, which we know that the deep state created, right? They created the George Floyd riots. So these guys are very, very gifted at creating these riot scenarios, guys. And they're going to do this again. We already know this coming. We need to prepare for it. The Patriot Guards are a local force in each county. I don't know how many counties there are, 3,300 something, I think, counties, probably a lot more, but something like that throughout the United States. This number kind of pops in my mind. But we need each one of these counties with a Patriot Guard group. They must be trained, manned, and available to the local police forces when and where necessary. Now, in some of these Democrat counties, guys, it's not going to be allowed. They're not going to allow the Patriot Guard. They don't even allow weapons in a lot of these counties. And it doesn't matter. They don't allow it. It's constitutional right of every citizen to have that. We've seen in California and in New York where they're limiting the number of rounds that you can have in magazines, which is also unconstitutional. But once they pass these laws and push them out, unless they're patriots that push back on this, they get implemented, and then they become, everybody's like, oh, well, that's the thing now. So we have to be able to push back on this stuff. All right, so it talks about it is expected to see left-wing ideologues to try to argue that the Capitol riots were symbolically worse because the Capitol building was targeted during what was supposed to be part of the peaceful transfer of power process. So a lot of people don't know that there were many capitals that came under, and Washington, D.C. came under attack from George Floyd riots. Many capitals came under attack during that time frame. All right, so they pushed for defund the police. We've already had a lot of that. That's unfortunate. We need to start to reallocate funding to police, to keep police departments and others that could be part of a process of pushing back on these planned riots that I believe are coming. So if there is a massive earthquake that causes a tsunami that basically wipes out everything west of I-5 along the west coast of the United States, and maybe even further, there's going to be a lot of civil unrest. And this could be the start of what they are looking for, guys. All right. So Patriot Guard units throughout the United States are necessary today in America to ensure threats are eliminated or neutralized at the local levels of our country. Because we know that if they kick this off again on a major scale that they have planned, I promise you, police forces will be overwhelmed. National Guard forces will be overwhelmed. And if the citizenry is not ready to respond with a Patriot Guard, then it will be mayhem in communities around the country, right? So that he goes on to talk about that. So we're talking each county is to build a structure of 2,000 trained guards, stand up quick reaction forces. Now we have plenty, as you guys know, myself included, former military. And we have people that are just as capable that have not had military training, that are experts with weaponry, right? They've trained themselves over the years. They can be part of this Patriot group as well. And then those that are willing to become part of the Patriot group. I believe that we need this, and we need this today, right? Things are not looking good, in my opinion. Now, let's look at this one gentleman that was on Paul Ryan's show that talked about how they have an earthquake machine creator. And, he's on many different shows. I don't know if Carrie Cassidy did an interview with him, but he's been on many shows. But this is a quick clip that basically gives you the down low on what he was talking about.
I physically held a key that opened every single door in the facility. I had complete access to.
So he's talking about the facility in Antarctica. All right. So we've heard that the Nazis went to Antarctica with very advanced weaponry, very, very, very advanced technologies. And that there was Admiral Byrd went down there with a fleet to basically go check that out and stop the Nazis down there. And they came out with flying saucers with death rays and directed energy weapons that basically started cutting ships in half and knocking aircraft out of the sky. So that those two fleets, those massive fleets that went down there to investigate, basically hightailed it out of there. And then we had basically a bunch of flying saucers hover over the White House. And we've heard that many Nazis came down, took control of the Capitol, put everybody under rifle, and they made them sign an agreement that they had control. So whether these are all real or not, we've heard these stories. It does appear that this actually happened. President Trump and his team are pushing back on this, I believe.
Compartment they manufactured.
What are you blowing the whistle on?
That there are technologies at the South Pole Station that people can't even consider that exist on this planet. Directed energy weapon systems is something that people need to get into their vocabulary fast. The Ice Cube neutrino detector is not simply a passive listening device as presented for the science that they're claiming it to do. It also has the capacity to transmit. There are embedded in the ice what are called digital optical modules, DOMs. They're about the size of a basketball. The array embedded in the ice is 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. It is the world's largest telescope. And now, because we have proven that it can transmit, it's the world's largest directed energy weapons system. It is responsible for the earthquakes in Christchurch, New Zealand. I physically held it.
So there were major earthquakes in Christchurch. He said they were basically testing it, and by accident, they created these massive earthquakes in Christchurch. I believe at this point, they've perfected that earthquake machine. We've seen some serious earthquakes last year, I believe it was, or year before, in Turkey. Back-to-back earthquakes would cause massive damage, massive loss of life. I think over 10,000. Yeah, Nancy Volker, we're on the same sheet of music. You're saying Turkey too. So this is something that is real, guys. It is not bullshit. So we have to start looking at, more and more that this stuff is out there, and that they have these capabilities. Now, do we have capabilities? Of course we do. Do we have capabilities to stop them? Obviously not, because we've seen massive numbers of directed energy weapons used to destroy cities. The most recent, of course, large-scale destruction in LA. All right. Before that, of course, it was Lahaina. Before that, Paradise, California. They've used them. I did a show a few days ago, where I went into detail all the different places around the world, and I'm just scratching the surface of the places where they've used these directed energy weapons, guys. Of course, they use them. Jasper, yes. Jasper was also a place up in Canada, Jasper, Canada. So yeah, it's many places have been hit by these guys. A lot of these places are for 15-minute cities. So it sounds like these guys have plans for the future. And one of those plans will probably be to cause massive mayhem, finally try in the last-ditch effort to take over the United States by causing a massive, catastrophic event where massive loss of life and property damage that will shock the whole world. Of course, if that Cascadia plate does get hit, that can travel all around the Pacific. It'll hit Hawaii. It will hit Japan. There is history where there was a Cascadia eruption, and the wave went into, I think it was like 1500s or something like that, maybe even earlier. But the wave actually went all the way to Japan and caused massive damage in Japan as well. Right. So all the way down the Pacific coast, all the way down through California, Baja California, and further. So it will be massive. It will be a massive, devastating event. So let's go into this a little bit. This is now I've shown some of her videos before on the pulse with Silky. She is really revealing quite a bit. I think she lives in Vancouver, British Columbia. I think she mentions that. I can't say definitively, but she has done some excellent videos. Highly recommend you go over and see her site and give her a coffee. All right, give her a coffee. Help her out. She's doing good work over there. So let's just go through the latest one she's talked about. Kagoshima, Japanese city, completely in ash. Sakurajima. They don't talk like that, actually. That was, those old Japanese movies, samurai movies. But today, they're very, very nice people, of course. So Sakurajima volcano is in Japan, headed towards large eruption. So 200 earthquakes, 90 eruptions, Japanese, lots of ash there. Watch these videos. And they're not long. They're that's less than 10 minutes. Volcano at risk of structural collapse, like Mount St. Helens in Indonesia. And here's the one we're going to focus on: Cascadia Fault. Alarming number of earthquakes in 1 month. 72.
Something's moving deep beneath the Pacific Northwest, and it's not a single earthquake. It's not a volcanic eruption, but it's moving right underneath me. This is where I am. It's something quieter, stranger, and far more persistent. In the last few days, over 7,000 tremors have been detected along the Cascadia Subduction Zone. You might know what the Cascadia Subduction Zone is. This goes from Northern California alongside Oregon, Washington, and into British Columbia, BC. That's the Cascadia Subduction Zone, the Cascadia Fault that is overdue to produce a magnitude 9+ earthquake, and 8 to 15 minutes later, a tsunami up to at least 100 feet. So this is what we're talking about. And along that rupture, we have these earthquakes. So an enormous fault line that scientists have long feared could unleash this devastating megathrust earthquake. They say it will rip open the Pacific Northwest, destroy the Pacific Northwest. Everything west of I-5 will be destroyed. I-5 is the major highway that also goes from California all through Oregon, Washington, and then into British Columbia. So these tremors, they're not just dots that we see on seismographs. There are signs of a vast slow motion event that is unfolding right now as I am speaking, deep underground. And while we might not have felt a thing, the earth is rumbling there and has been rumbling. So the big question is now, what does that mean? What is that? Do we have to worry about the big one? Is it coming? So the numbers have shocked scientists this year, and I tell you why. So initial reports began tickling in on May 18th, 2025. A spike in seismic noise, a scatter of deep tremors, and then came the headline. And you guys also saw it. I've seen it in the comments. Many of you sent me messages. Silky, 7,000 earthquakes where you are. So headline was 7,000 tremors along the Cascadia Subduction Zone this month alone. May, that is.
All right, so that's that Cascadia Subduction Zone. Right here is where those plates come together. That fault right there, where my cursor is, has a very high potential. A lot of big earthquakes happen right in here. That could trigger that, and then we could get the 100, at least 100 foot. At least. It could be higher. It could be less. It could not even happen. But regardless, they've been talking about this more and more. They've been doing planning for this. They've been staging, different personnel in case this happens. They're training for a mass casualty event. All right. So the way the sun is acting right now, grand solar minimum, and we have lots of energy coming off the sun when this happens. It is not looking good, and things have been getting more and more crazy all over the world. And we're about to have, I think, many major earthquakes and many major volcanic activity happen all around the world, which is going to have a massive effect. So Cascadia going off, maybe in the Mediterranean, one or two, maybe more massive volcanoes going off. Earthquakes, of course, always with that. So we'll see, guys. But don't blow this off. Don't say fear mongering. Just be alert, be aware. Start to if you're in those areas close to coast, right? You might want to start to look at maybe getting to higher ground, or if it happens up in all the way up into, let's say, the Cascadia in Vancouver, it kicks in Vancouver. That starts a zipper in Vancouver and starts to head down and cause a massive tsunami, and that tsunami starts to head down. Yeah, you could still have, maybe 30, 40 minutes before it hits you in San Diego, or maybe even longer. But what if all the power goes out because of that? What if, communications go down? What if they go down on purpose? All right. So a lot of people are going to die if that happens. So just be heads up about that. Of course, yes, the New Madrid fault zone in the middle of the country is also at risk, and maybe even more places, guys. So we're all going to have to be very, very heads up about all this. It's going to be a very, very traumatic experience if we do have something like that kick off. All right, so back to the New Orleans. So I'm thinking that this is basically going to be something we could possibly see if they kick off this earthquake, and then they're going to have all of these crazy people that are all around the country ready to riot and cause destruction. That would be the perfect timing for that guy. So what we're seeing in New Orleans is just a small little taste of what could happen. So you have after days on the run, I guess I have to accept cookies. Okay, good. I got it. So I accept them. Police capture 5th inmate escapee after days on the run. So there's still 5 that are missing. Still 5 that are out there running around. And what if we get to the point where people that are being released are rapists, or murderers, or just complete homicidal maniacs? It's going to get ugly. So still 5 on the run. Of course, this is in NOLA, New Orleans, Louisiana. Not looking good for these blue states, guys. So if you're living in a blue state, I've been telling you this for 5 years now, you need to get out. If you're in a blue city, well, not necessarily blue state. Yeah, probably blue state too. But if you're in a blue city, absolutely you want to get out of a blue city. Now, if you're in the countryside, probably going to stand a little bit better of a chance if you're in a blue state. But even in California, most of the countryside is red, guys. And probably most of the Democrats in these big cities are now not so much for Democrats anymore. All right. So we're going to continue to see that trend move in the direction to get away from the Democrats. They are not for Americans, as we saw with Joe Biden, right? And that's a whole nother show that I need to do. All right. So yeah, I think the Democrat Party, I've been saying it for years, is going to go away. All right. Rubio warns Syria could descend into full-scale civil war within weeks. So the Secretary of State says the U.S. is choosing to engage with new Al-Qaeda-linked Syrian government in hopes it won't collapse. Wow. Who would ever thought we would collude with Al-Qaeda like the Democrats? I don't know. We'll see. Rubio recently met with Shibani, Syria's new foreign minister in Turkey. So Shibani was a founding member of the Syria Al-Qaeda affiliate that eventually rebranded into Sham, right? The group that led the offensive against former Syrian President Bashar al-Assad and took power in Damascus in December 2024. The bad news is that the transitional authority figures, they didn't pass their background check with the FBI, and they've got a tough history and one that we understand, Rubio said. So it's full-scale civil war. So will America go to full-scale civil war? No. We will go into probably a planned mini city, multiple city civil war, all right, within big blue cities, guys. I've been saying this for 5 years. We're not going into a full-scale civil war. It will be the big cities, the big blue cities that will do that. They have planned it. They're going to allow it, and it's going to happen. All right. What is going to kick it off just remains to be seen. Of course, President Trump and team are doing, superstar work, trying to, remove as many of the leadership of these groups as they can. Of course, they're getting massive pushback all the way up to the Supreme Court level. Corruption all the way around America, guys, all the way up to the Supreme Court level, right? Very, very troubling, very tough times to overcome, things that many of us have been pointing out for a while that are coming. So new intelligence suggests Israel is preparing possible strike on Iranian nuclear facilities. So where did President Trump not go when he was in the Middle East? Of course, he didn't go to Iran, but he was dealing with the Iranians. He is dealing with the Iranians. If we do, and Russia wants to do trade with America, and Iran is actually building port facilities to do more trade. Did you know that? Yes. So they are thinking they're going to have a point where they're going to do this. President Trump did not go to Israel. He did not go to Israel. And we have Netanyahu furthering his attacks on Hamas, saying that he's basically going to wipe them out and he's going to seize complete control of Palestinian areas. President Trump does not want that. He was going to put, if push came to shove, he would put Americans there to like keep the peace. I don't think Netanyahu is going to allow that. He's just going to go in and try and wipe the Palestinians off the face of the earth. President Trump is not fond of that. All right. President Trump is he's trying to stop a lot of stuff, guys. He is, I think, very, very clearly working through God. God is working through him. All right. So if we show force, not force, but power, we won't have to show force. All right. If you go to a concert and you see like everybody getting out of hand, getting drunk and starting in fights and stuff like that, and there's no security, these fights will get way out of hand. Now, if you have good security, some big bubbas that basically come in and stop that, or even stop it before it even, or you just see big bubbas around and you're like, I ain't gonna start no fight. I don't want that guy like knocking the hell out of me. That happens too. Right. I've been in lots of security over the years and security as far as like protecting CIA assets and so forth. They don't want to mess around with someone who's very, very powerful and know what they're doing. Right. So if we can do that with a patriot militia group around the country, and it's not going to happen in big blue cities or states. But if we can get that as many as we can, maybe in surrounding areas, I think that we're not going to have any problems. Right. Of course, where they're not there's probably going to be problems. There's going to be problems. Right. It's going to happen. It's already planned. They're already gearing up for it. They're already moving. They've already moved weapons into these areas. They already have bad guys in these areas. We already see that we have Democrats that are trying to go into ICE, deportations and so forth, and stop deportations of criminal illegal aliens. Why would they be doing that? Because they want them to fight in their civil war, guys. They want them to fight in their civil war. They want to create a large-scale civil war. It's not going to happen, but they're going to try. It's their last-ditch effort. And to really kick that off, we could see a major devastating event happen to America, right? And to other places in the world, right? Other places where they've had a lot of illegal immigrant, movements coming into cities and provinces and all kind of stuff. All right, so the chance of an Israeli strike on an Iranian nuclear facility has gone up significantly in recent months. So would this be a distraction by the deep state, all right, by the Zionists in Israel? Would this be a distraction so that other things could happen, or while other things are happening? Yes, it could be all coordinated. It could all be coordinated. So Trump makes South African president watch video evidence of threats to white farmers. This is very troubling to see, guys. But this is something that has been allowed to fester for a long time. Of course, Democrats have loved this. They have pushed this agenda for a long time. So let me jump into this video. I think I've got it. Yeah, I think I've got it where it needs to be. Try and get it as big as I can. All right. So in this video right here, he is showing this video to the South African president. So here he is in the Oval Office. Press is there. They roll out a TV and they're playing this video of these basically groups that are large groups. It looks like in huge, I've seen there's several of these groups that are out there with looks like tens of thousands of people that are, you know, saying the same verbiage. Kill Boers, which are white settlers. Kill Boers. Kill, and we will take machine guns to them. They will run, but we will still kill them. And they're all repeating this. Tens of thousands of people.
I'm saying to you, was not called for the killing of white. A refugee in America.
All right, so this is going to get to a point where there's chanting. I'm going to repeat the chanting that they're the chants. Let me make sure I'm not that you can see this. So if we go full screen, okay, good. All right, so they're gonna chant. I'm gonna repeat what they're chanting in English.
For the next week out, it sounds like a genocidal attack.
You are a Boer, white man. You're going to run, shoot the Boer, the white man. We are going to kill them. You're going to run. We're going to shoot them with the machine gun. They're going to run. We're going to shoot them. So these large crowds, as you can hear in the background, these large crowds are chanting this message. So President Trump has allowed white farmers from South Africa to immigrate here to America. And of course, you have the Democrats are protesting this, yet they will allow murderers and rapists to come to our country, throw the border wide open, allow them to come in, and then resist and cry and whine when we try and get rid of them. But yet when we get people that will come to our country and be a very positive thing, maybe we can take the lands that China's buying and Bill Gates are buying, the farmland, and give it to these white settlers from South Africa. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So there's another spot in here where they're showing all of the crosses. So there's lots of areas where, see if I can find it. There's like this huge road where there's all these crosses, like 1,000 crosses on either side of this long stretch of highway. And let me see if I can find it. If I can't find it real quick, then we're going to move on. All right. So basically, he puts the South African president on notice. He's put him on the spot, and he's not liking it. He's not liking it at all, and he's saying, I don't even know where that area is where those white crosses are. All right, here it is.
Both sides of the road, you have crosses. Those people were all killed.
Have they told you where that is, Mr. President? No, I'd like to know where that is, because this I've never seen. Okay.
I mean, it's in South Africa. That's where.
We need to find out.
Okay, so that's how it is in a lot of these countries. That's how it is here in the United States. There's just a constant pushback. I don't know anything about that. you can't arrest me when I push an ICE agent that's trying to protect a facility that has. We could have called you and had a tour, but we're just going to show up and try and storm the place. And if you get in my way, I'm going to push you. I don't care if you're arresting people. I'm going to push you, assault you, basically. So now that woman, Congresswoman that pushed that ICE agent is being indicted, I guess. So these are the things, not here just in America, guys, with Democrat Party, but also there in South Africa. And we're also seeing it in Israel. So and of course, Ukraine. So we're seeing some very bad people that the leftist Democrats and their billionaire donors have basically created a very chaotic world for a good reason, so that they could take this world over and turn us all into slaves. That we have to push back on this. We have been given a short reprieve, hopefully over the next 4 years, to overcome a lot of this evil that these guys were able to push very deeply in to America over the last 4 years under the Biden 2.0 administration. All right. Sleepy Joe. Of course, Sleepy Joe wasn't there. Sleepy Joe 1.0 was taken off stage. We all know that. At some point, that's going to become and who knows why they aren't going to do a something down at Guantanamo for Sleepy Joe. Maybe it's because he already dealt with it, and it's maybe he turned evidence, and instead of destroying his history, like we're probably going to see with the Obamas and with the Clintons, he talked before he was executed. All right. And who knows, maybe Hillary too. Maybe she talked, and maybe she's going to get, I don't know. She's just going to get called up on charges, and Hillary 2.0 is going to go to jail, but she's already been dealt with. So Joe 2.0, they're just going to ride him out in the sunset, nice and easy, with bone cancer, prostate bone cancer. He's just going to ride off into the sunset. So that's already been dealt with, I believe. And as we move forward, we'll see some of that perhaps revealed, but some of it, maybe there were deals cut. So a lot of you guys, I don't want any deals cut. But if you knew potentially how many people they gave up, you would be, okay, yep. It will just, he won't lose all this credibility. He won't be shown for the horrific human being that he was. Maybe we'll leak some of that and people can see that, but we won't put it in a court and make it, we won't blow that up. So that could be something that these guys are getting, guys. I don't know. It could be just pushing this into a future time frame where it will be revealed. The actual court case will be revealed. I don't know. So one of the things I do know is that, many of us are benefiting from LifeWave. And that's one of the reasons why I share it, because so many people have incredible results from it. Now I'm here finding out that we're going to have these water machines that are going to come out. They actually insert light into your body. Now, a lot of us have talked about, healing machines and so forth that we see coming in the future. This will be very close to that. The X39 right now is very much close to that. You can experience the rewards of LifeWave, supports relief from minor aches and pains, maintain healthy inflammatory response, supports natural wound healing, improve skin appearance, improve mental clarity, enhance sports performance, provide energy and vitality, speed of recovery from exercise. So long-term with the X39 creates incredible miracles, as I show every Monday. If you ever want to go into one of those shows, they're taped. You can always go and check those out. But we have a team that basically, helps you out. If you're interested in it, you can contact us. There's a contact button at LifeWaveMichaelJaco.com, right? So got a website there for you guys to go do your own deeper research, discover LifeWave, LifeWave videos that I've done with the inventor of LifeWave, David Schmidt, and a lot more coming. So another thing that we're discussing at this event that I'm at right now is a new compensation plan that will basically push 60% of what LifeWave gets from these products goes back to those people that share the LifeWave patch. And a lot more people are going to get to benefit from that because they're pushing that down to lower areas, people that just come in. Imagine making $500 extra a month. That could be possible for many people coming up. So those of you that already have businesses and you're bringing a lot of people in, the more people you have in your business, the more benefits you're going to get from that. So I will be talking about that more. That new compensation plan is coming in. So a lot of amazing things are coming in for LifeWave. All right. So if you look at the market right now, the market today did a major deep dive. I think that we have a lot of things coming. So Japan, if you guys might remember the Japan carry trade with America, bonds and so forth, Japan is almost insolvent. They're in emergency sessions right now. We may see another major market crisis creeping into the market now. We've seen bonds, our bonds, American bonds have skyrocketed. Now, what that does is, yes, our wonderful President Trump is bringing business back to America, but if you don't have liquidity, dollars, to fund that, if that's starting to dry up, which we're seeing when bonds skyrocket like they are right now, you're basically, no one's buying them. You don't have liquidity, and it freezes up the markets. It freezes the markets up, and banks, bank lending, so forth. So it starts to put a major damper on businesses. Now, we've already seen a major damper on businesses already with the COVID lie, the COVID vaccination lie, and they dumped money into the economy to like crank it up. Now all that's drying up, guys. We're about to get a whipsaw, I believe. So I've talked about how you need to be in silver. All right, Dr. Kirk Elliott's our guy. So market storm clouds are gathering. It's not looking very good. Now, I've talked about this for quite some time. I am not in stocks. I am not in crypto. I am in silver. I am in silver. I highly recommend if you don't have part of your portfolio, I would say you should be dollar cost averaging into more of your portfolio into silver. But today, as I'm going to show you, yesterday, I think the Dow was down a little over 100. And today it took a big nosedive. It could be because of that liquidity crisis that I'm talking about. So you guys see here, down 816. The NASDAQ not down as much as it normally. Usually when the Dow goes down heavy, the NASDAQ goes down heavy. Right? Today it didn't go down. It was down not as much. The Dow was down 1.9%, and the NASDAQ down 1.4%. Of course, gold and silver are up. Now that's very interesting to me because the last time we saw the market tank, gold and silver went down. Now silver right now is about $1, maybe $1.70 or $1.80 away from multi-year highs. Now if it breaks above that, I think it might get pinned above that this weekend. If it does, silver is going to go on a rampage up. All right, silver is going to go up bigly. All right, and it needs to. It's been heavily suppressed. That suppression is probably going to come off. The last time the stock market took a dive a little over a month ago, silver got hammered way too much. And I think this time silver is going to go the opposite direction. Now, we also saw gold, of course, get a little bit of a bid, but not as much as silver. Silver's up quite a bit more. As you see, rates for the 10-year massively spiked today. It was a very, very big spike. Let's see if I can get this into 5-day. All right, so you see if it goes above 4.5, the markets start to get a little a little sketchy. So it's at 4.6. So the markets are really sketchy. So for the market to go up 0.1, that's a huge move for the 10-year Treasury. Massive, massive move. And the stock market does not like that. They don't like that at all. So heads up, guys. We've talked about this for a little while. We want you guys to be positioned so that if craziness starts to occur, you guys are in a good position. You will be part of the economic leadership in the future. You will be buying the businesses, the houses, instead of the deep state buying all the houses and creating bubbles in the housing market. It'll be we, the citizens of the United States, that are doing that. So look at crypto. Now, crypto looks like Bitcoin is catching a little bit of a bid. It's up near its all-time highs. I don't know if it hit it today. I've been busy all day. But when you look at the other crypto, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Dogecoin, Cardano, and others, they're not moving up much, guys. It's just Bitcoin. So it's almost like gold, silver, and Bitcoin. Now, these other ones, maybe at some point they'll catch a bid too. Personally, I don't think so. I think their days of big pumps are kind of done, but I could be wrong. So don't take what I say as total economic advice. But if you do your research and you have been listening, you have been seeing me call the silver market, and it has been going up, like I've been saying, while everything else is very sketchy. You know that we're in a time period. If you look throughout history, like I've been pointing out, it's time for silver to get some serious upward movement, guys. So it's not too late to get it to turn part of your portfolio, or if you got some cash on hand to go into silver, I would highly recommend it. But some of you guys think you're smart. You're going to be able to get out of the market when you see it go down. As you saw today, it went down 800 points. It can go up 1,500 points tomorrow. But when you look at the bigger, yes, Tron Master, Bitcoin is old technology, and it's in a bubble burst. I believe so. It's you guys. A lot of you guys do really good research. A lot of you guys are very smart, very talented. With my son Michelangelo, I did some really good investment. I did some very good investments in crypto. Right now, I'm just on the sidelines. Right, completely on the sidelines. I think that I will probably get back into the Bitcoin market. And when I say Bitcoin, I mean crypto market, not necessarily Bitcoin, but maybe we'll see how much it falls. Right? I will get back into it when it gets a very, very deep pullback, which always comes. All right, always comes. So some of you guys are betting that it's gonna take off. It's gonna stay up. It's not. It's never stayed up. It's up to you. It's up to you. So in this very sketchy environment that we're in right now, with rumors of wars actually going on all over the world, possibility of major earthquake, volcanic, and tsunami events coming, with the sun, kicking a lot of energy at us. It's time to get into something that's gonna last, that stands the test of time, all the way back to Roman times, Greek times, you name it. They were into silver, and silver was king. So we'll see. It's up to you guys, whether you're hold whatever you got. Let your intuition be your guide. But I think it's kind of sketchy. I don't like sketchy. I like to know, and I've called it when I knew it did real well, and there were some where I called it where I thought I knew it didn't do well. So I would say I'm like maybe 70 on a lot of other stuff. I'm more than 85, 90, but on this market, because there's so much manipulation and it happens on a trigger fast, it's very, very hard to call this. And a lot of the stuff that I was doing, I would call it, and then it would change on a dime before I could tell everybody. So the only thing I can give you advice on right now is get into silver. All right. So that's all I got for right now. Hopefully I'll have time to do more shows, reveal some more stuff. I was hoping the sunlight is really kicking on it. It's starting to go down over there. Sun's starting to set in that area right behind me. But there was a nice lake view there. I was hoping it would like reveal. All right. But, in the future, we'll have amazing times. So I'm hearing from a lot of people, right? Even my son on the other side, that we're going to go through some very chaotic times. And he's not coming back until they're done, right? He's not coming back for another 1.5 or 2 years. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll see you at some point when you come back. I guess we're going to hook up again. So, but in the meantime, we're tasked with making the world a better place. But I think we're going to go through some very traumatic times before that happens, right? It's becoming better now that Trump is in office. We need to keep working to give him the backing, to give him the oomph that he does need to go forward and do the things that need to happen, guys. So that brings up a point where a lot of people are like bashing Kash Patel and Dan Bongino because they're saying that they believe from all the evidence that they have that Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide in his cell. Now, a lot of you guys are like, oh, we can't trust him anymore. You don't know the backstory on that, guys. You don't know the backstory on that. You don't know what the information they have. Now, I believe Jeffrey Epstein's still alive. I don't think he did. Not only did he not commit suicide, but he was not suicided like most people think. I think they got him out of there, right? And he's been giving up a lot of information on these people. So a lot of you guys are like banging on those guys saying, I can't trust them. You can't trust anything they do now because they say Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. So they could be saying that to disinfo like we have been disinfoed. How many of you believe that 9/11 was real? And how long did you believe it? How many of you thought that COVID was real and that you needed to go get vaccinated? So there's a lot of people get bamboozled by this stuff. So we need to lay a trap sometimes for the deep state. Let them think that, oh, yeah, we've looked at the evidence and yeah. There's nothing there. There's JFK files release all the information. That's all there is. That's all there is. But we have already put together tremendous amounts of information. And in fact, I'm going to probably have what could be, unfortunately, James Files' last time on air, and his wife is going to come on separately and give information that she knows, because a lot of these guys that were involved in these events, like James Files, the assassin teams that went all around the world for decades, killing a lot of people, creating scenarios. Now, imagine James Files' assassin teams that were there for President JFK, John F. Kennedy. Imagine them taking out multiple leaders for decades, and doing other things, which maybe once he passes on, we'll be able to release that information. I hope he doesn't. I hope President Trump does come through and give him immunity so he can like really unleash. But, there's a lot of disinformation out there. So the JFK files, oh, that's all there is. That's bullshit. And probably the real files are in some safe somewhere that no one is going to get access to. That's on a ultra way up there clearance level. It's just never going to be seen. It doesn't matter, right? So over time, they can take classified information and declassify it. Some they can't, right? Because it has so much protection and it's so far up the classification scale, it's never coming down to us. I've been part of a lot of that stuff, all right? So some of that won't get revealed because it would impede or hurt people that are actually doing good work downrange. Some of it will actually come out in bits, like we've been seeing with James Files and other people that have been revealing. And then we have Ole Demogard, which came out a couple nights ago and revealed massively decades of research on the JFK files. It doesn't, or the JFK assassination. It doesn't matter that the JFK files don't reveal anything. He has revealed on a massive level. So it's going to be what you guys want it to be. Really, we the people. It's going to be what we want it to be going forward. We have been given that option now. We can never let it go again. We have to push. We have to work together. And if Dan Bongino and Kash Patel say that Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide, I'm like, okay, all right. You got something going on there, don't you guys? All right, we'll see how that plays out. Don't get all butthurt. Don't get all butthurt for it, guys. These guys are doing some amazing stuff. Let them run. Let them run. Don't get in the way, because a lot of you guys start bitching and whining. You get in the way. All right, just be observant. It's like, I don't agree with that, but I don't agree with it. I just told you, I don't think the guy committed suicide or he was suicided. I think he's still alive. I'm like one above everybody else. I'm like so far out there on a lot of my stuff that people are like, yeah, Jaco, you're just way too far out there. I can't follow you out there. I'm like, that's cool.